542 confirmed kills. In 100 days. One man. One rifle. No scope. His name was Simo H. Plutzian. The Soviets called him Belaya Smirt, the White Death, and by the time the Red Army figured out he existed, he had already buried an entire battalion in the snow. This is the story the history books skip. The deadliest sniper who ever lived. A man so lethal the Soviet Union sent counter-snipers, artillery strikes, and entire assault teams to kill him. They all failed. He stood 5'3". He was a farmer. He had never fought in a war before November 1939. 100 days later, he was the most feared soldier on earth. Who was Simo? He was born in 1905 in Rautjärvi, a small farming village near the Russian border. The seventh of 8 children. A subsistence farmer, a hunter, a man who spent his life stalking moose and elk through the deepest forests in Europe. By 17, he had joined the Finnish Civil Guard. He shot competitively. He won trophies, the shelves in his small wooden home filled with them. But he was not a soldier. He was a quiet man who went to church on Sundays, helped his neighbors, and rarely spoke unless spoken to. What he had, Gutcho, what nobody yet understood, Gutcho was a gift. He could read wind. He could read snow. He could hold his breath at 20 degrees below zero and put a bullet through a coin at 150 meters using only iron sights. Iron sights. Remember that detail. It will matter. The Winter War begins. November 30th, 1939. Without warning, without a declaration of war, Joseph Stalin orders the Red Army across the Finnish border. 450,000 Soviet troops, 6,000 tanks, 3,000 aircraft. Finland has a population of 3.7 million. Stalin expects the war to last 12 days. Soviet officers are issued maps that extend past Helsinki. Some bring dress uniforms for the victory parade. They will not need them. The Finns are outnumbered 3-1, outgunned 80-1 in armor, 200-1 in aircraft. They have no anti-tank weapons worth mentioning. They have rifles from the previous century. They have the cold. And they have men like Simo H+N. He arrives at the Kolla front on December 1st. He is 34 years old. He carries a Finnish modified Mosin Nagant Giso designation M2830, bolt action, 5-round magazine, wooden stock, iron sights. He refuses a telescopic scope. The glass fogs in the cold. The lens reflects sunlight and gives away the shooter's position. To use a scope, a man must lift his head. H+N will not lift his head. He will keep it down. In the snow. For 100 days. The White Death emerges. The Soviets come in waves at Kola. They come down a forest road known as Killer Hill. They come in companies, then battalions, then regiments, and one by one, they begin to die. A Soviet officer adjusts his binoculars. He drops. The lieutenant beside him turns. He drops. The radio operator reaches for his transmitter. He drops. No one hears the shot. No one sees the muzzle flash. The snow swallows everything. H+N's method is methodical, surgical. Before dawn, he packs snow into his mouth. The reason is simple. Gusso. His breath cannot fog. It cannot betray him. He builds his hide before sunrise so the rising sun does not cast a shadow. He sprays water in front of his position so the muzzle blast does not kick up snow. He shoots. He moves. He shoots again. In a single day, Giso, December 21st, 1939, his birthday, Gisho, he kills 25 men. On another day, the official Finnish count credits him with 40. By Christmas, the body count attributed to one man on the Kola front exceeds 100. By New Year's, it exceeds 200. The Red Army begins to understand. There is something in the forest, something that does not miss, Something that takes their commanders, their machine gunners, their scouts, something that hunts them. They give it a name. Belaya Smrt, the White Death, the Soviet response. Moscow takes notice. This is no longer a battlefield rumor. Reports keep arriving. Officers killed, snipers killed, entire patrols vanishing into the trees. The Red Army deploys counter-snipers, trained men, veterans, specialists with telescopic sights and orders to find the ghost of Kala and end him. H plows now H plus N kills them. He kills the first counter-sniper, then the second, then the third. Witnesses later describe how he tracks the glint of their scopes. So the very advantage they hold over him becomes the thing that gets them killed. The reflection, the fogged glass, the lifted head. He waits, he shoots, they die. Soviet command escalates. They send dedicated counter-sniper teams. He kills them too. They send artillery Yise. They bracket entire grid squares with high explosive shells, hoping to bury him in the blast. A shell fragment tears off the back of his coat. He survives. They send another barrage. He survives that too. He is reported killed 7 separate times by Soviet intelligence. 7 separate times he comes back the next morning and starts shooting again. In addition to his rifle, he uses a Suomi KP-31 submachine gun for close-range combat. Finnish records credit him with at least 200 additional kills with the submachine gun. Combined total Giso over 500. Some Finnish historians place the number above 700. In 100 days, in temperatures that drop to 40 below zero, with iron sights, there is no comparable record, not in the Second World War, not in Vietnam, not in any conflict before or since. Simo H plus YYH plus N's kill count, achieved in 3 months, exceeds the lifetime totals of every other sniper in recorded military history. The shot that almost ended him. March 6, 1940. The war is in its final week. The Soviets have brought in fresh troops, fresh equipment, and a new tactic, Jisu explosive rounds. H plus Y, H plus N is in his hide. He raises slightly to acquire a target. A Soviet soldier fires. The bullet Jisu, an explosive round Jisu, strikes Simo H plus Y plus N in the lower left jaw. It detonates on impact. It blows away the left side of his face, his teeth, his cheek, half of his jaw. Comrades who reach him later say half his head appeared to be missing. They load him onto a sled. They are certain he is dead. He is not dead. He is in a coma. He will remain in that coma for 1 week. He will wake up on March 13th, 1940, Gränso. The same day, Finland signs the peace treaty that ends the Winter War. The war is over. He is alive. The bullet that should have killed him did not. And the man who killed more enemy soldiers in 100 days than any human being in history will spend the next several years undergoing reconstructive surgery to rebuild his face. The legacy. He went home. He did not write a memoir. He did not tour. He did not give speeches. When asked decades later how he became such an effective marksman, his answer was 4 words. Practice. When asked if he felt remorse for the men he killed, his answer was equally short. I did what I was told to do, as well as I could. He lived to be 96 years old. He hunted moose into his 80s. He died peacefully in 2002 in a war veterans nursing home in Hamina, Finland. The Soviets lost between 125,000 and 168,000 men in the Winter War. The Finns lost 25,000. Stalin would later say that Soviet forces had won enough territory to bury their dead. Of those Soviet dead, more than 500 Gishu, perhaps closer to 700 Gishu, were killed by a 5'3" farmer with iron sights and snow in his mouth. The deadliest sniper in human history. And almost nobody talks about him. Te. If you made it this far, you already know what to do. Hit subscribe to Shadow Command. We bring you the military history that never made the textbooks, show the soldiers, the operations, and the secrets that should have been legends. Next time on Shadow Command, he was 20 years old. He weighed 135 pounds. The Army rejected him 3 times, and he became the most decorated American soldier in the history of the United States military. Coming next, Gachu. The most decorated soldier in American history, Gachu,